It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
Good Monday morning. It is December the 2nd somehow, and I ate so much over the weekend. Fun fact, true story, I threw my back out.
Oh, no.
That boy.
Oh, yeah, the lower back is shot, ladies and gentlemen, and I do blame sloth and gluttony.
From shoveling it in?
Oh, my God. I'd much rather have been shoveling snow, but no, sir. I mean, it would be a better story, I should say. But no, that's just what it is. Bad back, just had the extra hole in the belt, the whole thing. I really went for it, and I'm proud of the effort.
Yeah, you got to eat your way through that now.
Oh, well, make no mistake about it. I have no intention of changing course at this stage of the game. I made it through the weekend. I assume everybody out there did as well. We're back in the grind. It is now December, and boy, am I excited about the top 5 at 6. Let's get right to it. Why am I excited? Oh, gosh, I don't know. Because 1 hour from right now at 7 a.m., you're going to want to be right where you are listening to the KQ Morning Show. We have a concert announcement. Yeah. A concert announcement I cannot recommend more heartily. A performer, if you will, an act, if you will, I personally have seen over 20 times.
I know, and it's the worst-kept secret in Minnesota, I think, right now. I've had like 5 friends text me over the weekend.
That's right.
Hey, can you get me tickets? And I'm like, well, we haven't even announced it yet, man. Just
That's
chill.
right. That's right.
And no, I can't.
Kirk and the cousins coming to Minnesota.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, you know they are. But no, seriously, 7 a.m., major concert announcement. We certainly hope that everybody has been under the Thanksgiving rock and doesn't know what we're talking about, because I'm very excited about it. Number 4 on your top 5 at 6. Listen to the laugh. Okay, over the weekend, maybe you were aware of the fact that Ohio State University, their football team, the Buckeyes, a lock for the playoff, a lock for the Big Ten championship, and a lot of sporting insiders saying an absolute inside track to a national title contender this year. They played their old rival, the Wicked Witch of the North, Michigan, defending national champions. Michigan 6-5, a down year for sure. A 19.5-point underdog in Columbus. And what happens? Of course, Michigan kicks the snot out of the Buckeyes in a 13-10 game that was just what they would, that was like an old-fashioned rock fight. That was Bo Schembechler and Woody Hayes looking football. Mistakes all over the place. And as as I've said many times, from a family of Michiganders, a Michigan native, and I grew up cheering for the Maize and Blue, I don't really lose sleep over anything to do with Michigan football, but I root for them. But I've never enjoyed a win more because they had no business winning that game. And I'm always hoping Ohio State loses everything they ever do. But, man, that was funny. And then after the game, if you didn't notice this, if you didn't watch it, Michigan players ran onto the field after the game ended, and they were attempting to plant some big Michigan flags at midfield. And there was a humongous midfield fight. The Buckeyes apparently realized, we didn't fight enough during the game. Let's go fight now. And there was a Donnybrook and a brawl that led to police pepper spraying the Michigan Wolverines.
Michigan will defeat Ohio State for the 4th consecutive time and denies the Buckeyes a Big Ten title game shot. Something interesting is going on the field right now. Michigan tried to plant their flag in the middle of the Ohio State field, and the Buckeyes rushed right to them. And now there's some skirmishes going on the field. An unsportsmanlike gesture by the Wolverines. Unnecessary. They've won the game. No need to be disrespectful.
Probably just needs to grab that flag, or else this is going to continue to get nasty.
And cue the tear gas. Look at them all crying like a bunch of babies.
Tear gas. It's a bunch of guys wearing pads and helmets. No one's going to get hurt. No one is going to get hurt in that sort of a thing.
You got all that tear gas. You brought it to the game. The students didn't, go off like you wanted them to. Use it on the players. I like to see rich kids cry.
It's great. It really was. I tell you one thing. The Buckeye players need to realize next time you guys go to Ann Arbor, don't even think of celebrating. Those cops are going to be loaded for bear with pepper spray, waiting for payback. That's how that rivalry goes.
When do you want to see a jerk team win? when they play the bigger jerk team. And I tell you,
Always.
I watched it with Sid the Kid's parents. Dylan's parents were in town, and they're born and raised in Michigan. I had no idea. I mean, you hear about the rivalry, you hear a lot about it, but I had no idea that a sweet old lady could cuss like that. Fun game to watch with them, yeah.
It's astonishing. It really is. It
no
speaks
idea.
to how little is going on in the lives of people in Ann Arbor and Columbus the rest of the year.
Maybe, yeah.
Number 3 on your top 5 at 6. Speaking of gluttony and sloth and stuffing your gob and working your way through those leftovers, I'm hoping everybody did the same thing I did, which is continue to do that. But today is the last day. According to the USDA, most of your Thanksgiving foods can last 3, if at most 4 days in the fridge. Let's clean out those pans, ladies and gentlemen. I did it yesterday. I got rid of everything. I finally said, that's it.
Boy.
There were still, and we had been pounding it too. We were rolling through that stuff, but of course cooked 5 times more than we would have ever needed as a family of 4 with 2 guests. And yesterday I just said, that's it, everybody. Just so you know, last chance. And of course, no one even raised an eyebrow. I was like, please God, get that crap out of the fridge.
Yeah, I think there's a piece or two of pie still hanging in there, but we had a big crew, so everybody just mouthed through that stuff. I don't even think much made it to today.
No, we the one mistake we made with the meal was the string bean or green bean casserole. Somehow we didn't make enough. It didn't match with the leftovers. After the second day, that was all gone, and there was still plenty of everything else. And I'll be honest. I let Rosemary know about it. I said, listen, we can't have this. This is not how we're supposed to operate as a family. And we had to sit down. We were already planning next year's dinner.
Was there tear gas involved?
There was but there was a threat of mace. That's technically speaking.
Yeah,
I let her know. Next year, I'm coming in here with bear spray if there's not enough string bean casserole next year. Number 2 on your top 5 at 6. Friday night, McGovern's had a bit of a dramatic evening. The historic bar in St. Paul. There was a car crash. A vehicle collided with an electrical transformer and just wreaked havoc all over the Cathedral Hall area. And several fireballs exploded, but also... at McGovern's, a power line was knocked down by this crash near McGovern's roof, and it started a fire. Now there was no power for about 90 minutes for almost 10,000 people, but the business right below that fire, McGovern's included, but they had a fire on the roof, as they say. Back open for business on Saturday, but what a very scary moment at 11:40 p.m. on a Friday. I got to think there was more than a few people knocking back a couple of drinks at that moment, and then boom, a fire breaks out.
Yeah, I haven't heard from Rick this morning if that soured the black and gold bar where everybody the Pittsburgh folks that watch the Pittsburgh Steeler games. That's upstairs at McGovern. That's up by that roof that caught on fire. Right. I don't know if they were able to enjoy the game yesterday or not, but
your average Steelers fan walks into a room, doesn't even notice smoke marks. They're just it's the last thing on their mind.
All right.
They're just good. And by the way, you know what? Steelers fans happy to sit in a burned room to watch that team right now.
Yeah, right now. Yeah, it's going well.
Throwing you a little love there, Bri. I know you'd appreciate it.
Well, no 10-win team, though.
No, not at all. Speaking of your number 1 story on your top 5 at 6, which I will get to after I say good morning, Champlin. Our friends in Champlin, we just want to give you a little tip of the cap, what's happening, Champlin?
Right up 169 to Willie McCoy's for a good time in Champlin.
Good to have you with us this morning as we're all getting back to the grind. Number 1 on your top 5 at 6. Is it better to be the worst 10-2 team in the league, or is it better to? Who cares? 10-2 is 10-2, and that is your Minnesota Vikings, a squeaker over the Cardinals yesterday. The game marked by not 1 but 2 Aaron Jones fumbles, which is insane. These are the steadiest hands in the league for years. Not one, but 2 fumbles. But when it came down to it, when push came to shove, when all the chips were on the table, when their backs were to the wall, the Vikings pulled out a long drive and a win with 1:13 to play. And who caught that winning touchdown? But Aaron Jones himself, a huge home win. That's 9 in a row. What is that? 9? It's not 9 in a row. It's how many in a row?
5 in a row?
5 in a row, excuse me. 10-2 right now. Shocking to see the Vikings still pulling victory from the jaws of defeat.
That's right, Coach O'Connell.
It's a 10-win football team. I got some game balls right here, but before I get to them, all right, offensively, wasn't our day in the first half. All right, we had our fair share of things we can get better at, improve. That's a playoff caliber team. But once again, when we absolutely had to have it, piecing together the best parts of what we do between the pockets, giving Sam time. All right, finding Jets and J.A., big-time plays here and there. T.J. Hawkinson drawing a penalty. All right, and then when we had to have him, Aaron Jones, everybody in here has your back.
There you go.
Big win for those 10-2 Minnesota Vikings. And as I already referenced, Kirk and the Cousins, one of my favorite bands, coming back to town Sunday. Kirk Cousins, who was warming up for his return to Minnesota yesterday by throwing 4 interceptions against the Chargers.
That's right.
He's getting nervous.
Whew, he sure was. The Chargers beat the Falcons in Atlanta. Cousins will be here Sunday. A big win, 10-2, 11-2. I mean, this team is, like O'Connell just said, man, when it matters, they're figuring it out. Where there's a will, there's a way, and this team has shown plenty of will. There is your top 5 at 6 after a lovely holiday weekend. You got to get rid of all those leftovers today, and that includes some stories that we didn't get to last week. Monday morning leftovers coming up. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
At 7 a.m. on this very show, we have a major, massive, humongous concert announcement. You will want to be here. You will want to know what we already know in your face. Yeah, that's right. We know something you don't know for another 35 minutes, let's call it. 7 a.m., big announcement. In the meantime, it's Monday. We got Monday morning leftovers to get through, and I'm sure you're aware of the fact that we like to let you decide which stories from last week would you like us to remove from the plate but share the information. We always miss a few over the course of events. Here's what we do. I'm going to give you some headlines, a little bit of each story, and then give you a keyword. You text the word that tells us which story you want to hear. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talk and Text line. We've got a handful of stories, and I'm going to tell you what to text in if you want to hear that particular story. A tree trimmer hits a killer bee nest while trimming trees, and hilarity ensues. Well, not really. That story, if you want to hear the details, you can text the word bees, B-E-E-S. Whew, tree trimming. Yeah.
There are actual killer bees from Africa, those ones we grew up with?
It's what they say.
Oh, wow.
It's he was not in the Astrodome stuck in a car, if memory serves. This was the guy in a tree. But you all remember that movie on TV, right? They drive the car. Yeah, okay. The 70s were lit, man. How about this? New Orleans has a brand new wedding chapel in a liquor store. Hardly a surprise. If you want to hear about that, the word is chapel. Text chapel to the KQ Talk and Text line. How much money do you have to make a year in order to feel, quote, successful? You may be surprised to know what the poll numbers say. Kids today, boy, they got their head in the clouds. If you want to know how much you have to make a year to feel successful, text the word money.
If you like to wake up with a kick in the balls. Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
Who wants to hear that story?
We'll find out. You know what, Zepp? If we're going to do that story, you just go ahead, just hit the head while we're doing it.
All right.
If you want to hear a story about a gentleman who stole a shopping cart full of Red Bull and then led police on a high-speed chase. I mean, come on. There's more to the story than just that. Then you want to text the word wings. Wings to the KQ Talk and Text line. Here's a story that this is for a whole lot of people, as always. There's always somebody that needs a head slap. We always talk about baby names this time of year, trends for the next year. People are like, well, the hot baby name for next year is Liam. It's always the same thing. But no. Now we have a different story. People are looking to a different source for new baby names, and they all need a head slap. If you want to hear that story, text the word names to the KQ Talk and Text line. How about this? You got a dishwasher. You got a washing machine for your clothes. How about a human washing machine? It's on the way. It is on the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Is it called a shower?
Shockingly, no. There's a new development in the world of tech for your home. The word clean, if you want to hear that story. Clean to the KQ Talk and Text line. And then our last story of the morning, of our Monday morning leftovers. Which of your perfumes actually contain human pee? I bet you want to know. The word smell is the word to text to the KQ Talk and Text line. So perfumes with pee, smell. Human washing machine, clean. Weird source for new baby names. Red Bull thief, high-speed chase. The word is wings. How much money do you need a year to feel successful? Text the word money. A wedding, chapel, in a liquor store, text the word chapel, and then a tree trimmer stung by bees. Oh, my goodness. The word is bees. There's your Monday morning leftover list. And again, text to KQ Talk and Text line 651-989-ROCK. Bing, bang, boom. Major concert announcement in about 30 minutes. But, of course, before that, we do have a bit of a history lesson to get into, so hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show, and this is a perfect time to learn a little something. Let's do it on this day, December 2nd, 1956, in Melbourne, Australia. The U.S. Olympic men's basketball team won gold. They beat the Soviet Union 89-55. Take that, Ruskies. Bill Russell leading the charge, the winningest basketball player ever. High school state champ, 2-time college champ, 11-time NBA champ, gold medal in Melbourne. A dominant performance throughout those Olympics. The average winning margin for the U.S., 55 points. Now, while that game was played 68 years ago, it's never too late to go, ha-ha, screw you, you bunch of Russian scumbags. Hey, man, I listen.
Cold War runs deep, baby.
Yeah, old habits die hard. Any chance I get to rub it in Rusky's face, I'm going to take advantage of it. On this day in 1967, the Hamilton Tiger Cats won the CFL Grey Cup over the Saskatchewan Roughriders at Lansdowne Park in Ottawa. So, hey, congratulations to the 67 Tiger Cats. Oh, in case you were wondering, the final score of the game, 24-1.
Wow.
That's right. Hamilton 24, Saskatchewan 1 point.
Yeah.
And, people say, gosh, Steve, why do you always make fun of the Canadian Football League? This is why. You can score 1 in a Grey Cup.
Yeah, they won't let anyone get shut out. It's you just get a point for showing up.
Well, it's not fair.
I have a point here. Sorry.
Check it out. If a team is going to punt, okay, check it out. This is how you score 1 point in Canada. The kicking team scores what they call a single. When the ball is punted, drop kicked, or place kicked into the receiving team's end zone without scoring a field goal or hitting the goalpost, and then the receiving team fails to run it back or kick it back into the field of play. I don't even understand what I just read. All I know is a guy named Alan Ford had an 87-yard punt in the game, and for that, his team got 1 point.
It's kind of like our kicking rules this season, I think.
Pretty much.
Confusing and stupid, and they don't work.
Can you imagine if we had to talk about a Super Bowl where someone won the game 24-1? I mean, come on, 24-2 would be bad enough. 24-1? Oh, Canada.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
We've got a major announcement. AC/DC, baby. 92 KQRS presents Akadak. AC/DC. With openers, The Pretty Reckless, Thursday, April the 10th at U.S. Bank Stadium. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. You can listen to the KQ Morning Show tomorrow through Friday to win tickets before you can buy them. AC/DC, April 10th. 2025, the opening night of the U.S. tour. If you have never seen AC/DC, I would strongly suggest you take advantage of this opportunity.
I'm so this is a bucket list band for me that I have screwed up chances to see. I don't know how many times.
You've never seen them?
No, and I love AC/DC. Like, I never change the station when AC/DC is on, so I am all about this one. And, like, U.S. Bank Stadium, a lot of people will be like, the sound's not good there. But I want to say for Metallica, when they had the kind of setup in the round and the PA system was on the floor, it actually did sound really good.
Yeah.
So
Turns out you just got to make
crossed.
it louder. Yeah, you just got to make it really, really, really loud. You know, I don't think... like Coldplay would sound great there. You just really got to 3 chords, lots of distortion, just crank it up. They'll be fine.
Good
Sorry to
job.
tell you can't go this year either. You have to work. I just saw the schedule.
God.
Craig.
As soon as we wrap this up, I was already going to start lobbying you guys to take Friday the 11th off. But
you don't have to lobby us. Done.
Done deal. That is fantastic. Of all the bands, if you think back to the 70s and 80s, what was the thing? You'd see all the bands, and they would just have cabinet after cabinet after cabinet. It looked like there was 100 amps on stage. Every band on earth, those were just dummies, except for one. Except for one. AC/DC, all those cabinets were in use. They were so loud to get that right tone. I've seen AC/DC over 20 times in my life. A lot of those dates were I was on tour with them, so that kind of is a cheat code. But I have been in the house watching AC/DC, as a civilian, I think 8 times in my life. I absolutely love AC/DC. I will be at this show. I might have to pull an all-nighter because when you leave an AC/DC show, the one thing you don't actually do very easily is go to sleep. So we might all be dragging the next morning on air, but it's going to be worth it.
I bet.
That makes me excited. The Pretty Reckless is opening. I know nothing about them other than they've been around for a while and they're supposedly a good rock band. I don't care. I will say this much. Do want to let our friends in Oakdale know we're thinking of you this morning. Good morning, Oakdale.
Yeah, sorry about what happened.
What
I don't know. Did something happen? No, I thought something happened to Oakdale.
No,
Are you all
no,
right?
no.
Are you okay, Oakdale? Come here. Give us a hug.
Oakdale just woke up this morning and had to go back to work like the rest of us. So we're just saying good morning.
I feel like Oakdale would have called in sick this morning.
I would hope so. I mean, my God, are they losing their spunk up there in Oakdale? Come on, get it together.
Never.
Jeez, oh, Pete. All right, so right now we do need to take care of our Monday morning leftovers. That's not the extra dressing or stuffing or pie we're talking about, but no, our stories that we went to the KQ Talking text line poll, and you have given us the 3 stories you want to hear the mostest. Number 3, I mentioned people are giving baby names now. The new trend is an odd source, and that is, wait for it, dog names to babies. People are thinking of classic dog names and naming their children. Not giving them nicknames, but literally naming them after dog names.
Like Mary Poppins?
It could be, very much. There are now 4 categories, but this is a growing trend, not just in the States, but throughout Europe. People are looking, they're pregnant, they're expecting, and they're like, you know who I always love the most? That old dog we used to have. If it's a boy, I'm going to name him Blue. This is a real thing. But apparently there's a naming expert. This is still the thing that kills me. There are baby name experts, people that are paid money to help couples come up with a perfect baby name. They go, this one, Colleen, a baby naming expert with a huge following on social media, says there's 4 categories. There's cutesy nicknames like Charlie, Daisy, Sophie, Ruby, Sadie. Okay, but I've always known people with all of those names. Now there's short and sweet names. Leo, Max, Chloe, Luna. Okay, again, I know a Max. I know a Leo. I know a Chloe. I don't know a Luna, and if I did, I'd look at her sideways.
Yeah.
But you know...
Peanut?
Yes, but now,
Sparky.
but now you but see, hold on now. See, you guys are jumping the gun. Now you get to the true dog names: Bear, Banjo, and Blue.
Yeah, old
Please
Blue.
name your kid Banjo. Yeah,
I mean, if you name your kid Banjo, I'm slapping you and that kid when he turns 16.
Yeah.
Why not cello?
Sure. Cello. That would
They're
be nice.
stringed instruments.
Keep it fun. Bark Twain. Bark Twain. Get it?
Bark
No?
Twain.
I do get it.
This is my son Cello and my daughter Piccolo. Another, and then finally, there's the cool and edgy dog names such as Cooper, Maverick, Duke.
God.
But here's the funniest part. This person said a psychologist at a clinic called It's Me and You Family Clinic said the trend of giving babies dog names reflects the profound emotional connection. Here's a quote. For many, pet names evoke feelings of loyalty, unconditional love, and familiarity. I kind of thought your child was supposed to bring up those feelings as well, too. If I had a son named John, guess what? I would love him unconditionally. I don't have to call him Rusty to remember my childhood Springer Spaniel. Although, you know, I will say, if either of my children are going to become parents, I will lobby for a Chauncey, even as a middle name. Just throw it in there. Come on.
Out of respect.
It's still kind of weird because our first dog, Cody. I mean, that's your first dog. The farm dog, Cody, just means a lot to me. And my daughter, Taylor, is dating a guy named Cody. I just can't quite get around it, you know. I keep going up and feeling his nose and scratching his belly. It's inappropriate.
Great.
You know, it's funny. Our son Connell, since he was born, I call him Connie. That's his family name. You know, hey, Connie. And my high school girlfriend's name was Connie, and I never thought about that once. But people from my hometown, if I run into them and I'm telling a story, oh, Connie's over, he's in school, and they're like, Connie. And I'm like, oh, for God's sakes, that was the 80s. Get over it. There's no connection.
It sounds like you didn't get over it. You named your son after an old girlfriend.
Damn it. They say be vulnerable on air. I've opened up too much. Your number 2 Monday morning leftover with 23% of the vote. A 33-year-old gentleman in Missouri was arrested after he stole a shopping cart full of Red Bull from a grocery store and then led police on a high-speed chase. Now, his name's Anthony Simpson. Check this out. He loads up a shopping cart completely full of Red Bull, walks out of a grocery store near St. Louis. There's $500 worth of Red Bull in his cart. He just walks out with it. Now, he walked out of, it's a chain called Schnucks, which I think legally you should have to pronounce it Schnucks. He walked out of a Schnucks grocery store with $500 worth of Red Bull, throws it into his cart. A cop saw him pushing the cart through the parking lot and immediately knew who he was because, wait for it, he's done this before. The man has a track record of stealing Red Bull over and over and over from grocery stores.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Oh, all right.
He hopped in his car and he took off when he heard the siren. He hit 120 miles per hour while weaving through traffic, including driving on the shoulder of several roads. Eventually, he crashed into a concrete barrier, refused to get out of his car until they fired pepper balls at him. Now, if this isn't the greatest endorsement, in fact, should be a commercial for Red Bull ever, I don't know what is.
Yeah, it made itself. They don't even have to pay him. He already did it.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, my God, I don't like the taste of Red Bull, yet I feel oddly tempted to go get 6 of them in my system as soon as possible.
High-speed chase, maybe?
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I love this guy. I love the fact that a cop goes, that's the Red Bull guy. And he's got a cart of Red Bull again. Of all the things to be known as, the Missouri Red Bull man. It's not quite the Jesse James gang, speaking of Missouri, but hey, it's close. And number 1, with 30% of the vote on your Monday morning leftovers, Whoo, baby. A Florida man named John Christian was recently called the luckiest person in the world only because he somehow survived this. He works as a tree trimmer. He works as a tree trimmer, and he was about 30 feet above the ground in a bucket truck, and he struck a large beehive. Ouch.
Nope.
Yeah.
The very clearly agitated bees swarmed him and attacked. Now, his coworkers were shouting, "Jump out of the bucket." Again, he's 30 feet off the ground. They're screaming, "Jump." Ultimately, he decided that was his best move. Jumped out of the bucket.
Can they bring the bucket down? I know it's a little slow, but I mean,
they didn't want
guys.
to bring the bees down with him. They're like, no, we're not about to lower you.
Yeah.
You're bee bait, and we're leaving you up top. He jumped off. He landed on a rooftop, then rolled down the roof and fell all the way to the ground. It was a 30-foot fall. The bees,
right?
By the way, the bees, in case you forgot, can fly. It's not like they just let him go. They chased him, and they continued to attack and sting all the way to the ground. The rest of the crew did get involved. They pulled him away, rushed him to the hospital. He was stung more than 100 times.
Yeah.
And somehow had no broken bones or other major injuries from the fall. A bee expert identified these as killer bees and said it makes no sense that he's still alive. He absolutely should have been killed with over 100 killer bee stings. As always, it's funny because it didn't happen to us. His quote is, "The doctor said I either have superhuman strength or I'm the luckiest person in the world." I'd go with superhuman strength. If that's your idea of being lucky, bud, I mean, seriously, stay away from me. But anyway, John Christian, well done. But how was one iPhone not utilized in shooting a video of this entire incident?
Yeah, they're all asking themselves.
While they weren't lowering the bucket truck to save their friend, they couldn't video his imminent death? Come on, guys.
Well, it was a beer break. They had a beer in their hands. So.
That's exactly what it was. Can you imagine that? Just, oh man, John looks like he's in a bit of a swirl. He's in a bit of a swirl up there. Hey, John, jump! John, hand me another beer. John, jump! Just jump, man. I got a beer down here for you. Unbelievable. Most bee stings I ever got at one time, 3. That was 2 more than I really needed to deal with at that time. Anybody ever had multiple stings?
I had 2 from, they would land on our dog, Cody. I was just talking about Cody. He was a German Shepherd Collie mix, had really long, thick hair, and there were a couple of bees. So you'd go over to pet Cody, and sometimes the bees would jump you. So I got 2, but that was it.
Man,
no
Tony?
big deal.
Tony, bee sting situation?
Yeah, I got a couple. When I was a kid, we were playing outside with tennis rackets, and little Stevie Mueller, the dork, swatted a couple bees, pulled back the racket, and of course they landed on me.
No.
The bees landed on my arm, and they were pissed.
I bet they did. Well, Ryder, you're what are you, a millennial? They didn't have bees when you were a kid, did they?
Exactly. No, just got the one bee sting in my entire life, and that's it. And fingers crossed, we're going to keep it that way.
It's funny you say that. My grandmother died in 1969. She died without a bee sting, and I decided I'm going to do the same thing. I will live my whole life without being stung by a bee, and that lasted until I was about 7, and then I got the 3 at once, first time ever out of the chute. My son, without ever having heard that story, also made the same pledge, and he is 24, still bee sting free. He is very, very, very intent on never having been stung by a bee. So I'll keep you posted.
Okay.
And good news, the bees are going away. So his odds are only getting better.
Well, let me tell you something. If the bees go away, then none of us will have to worry about a damn thing ever again. What do we got? What do we got? 3 years without the bees before it's all said and done? Okay, great. That's fun.
All right.
I like a good cry as much as the next guy. In fact, you know what? I might like a good cry more than the next guy. But, a lifetime or at least a childhood being told, suck it up, buttercup. It's tough. It's tough to get the waterworks going. What to do? Well, maybe you want to put on a good movie, a good dude cry movie. Let's talk about our favorites. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
It is December the 2nd. Thin Lizzy, the boys are back in town. A song that was going nowhere until a couple of DJs in Louisville, Kentucky on rival stations both started playing the song incessantly over and over. Two guys at rival stations decided that should be a hit, and that's exactly what happened. It became a massive song in one market, Louisville, spread throughout the south central area, southeast, northern, southeast, whatever you would call that area. And then next thing you know, Thin Lizzy finally broke through in America. You know, radio is your friend. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah?
Excellent.
There was a time.
We're not going to give you money, but...
No, there was a time when a couple of DJs in a backwater town like Louisville, Kentucky could break an Irish band. Go figure. Ah, the salad days. The Ringer website had a story that we wanted to mention. Guy cry movies. Guys, and I'm one of them. We need help to get the tears flowing sometimes. And, occasionally... Like, say you're sitting around the fire pit, you're on that third or seventh little glass of whiskey, and the right song comes on, and you're like,
yeah.
I don't know, man, this one just gets, it takes a little nudging. But, a good movie can do that, too. It certainly can with me. And they listed the top guy cry movies. And I'm curious, off the top, just before we even get into what they think, I'm going to go right to the source, right into the belly of the beast. Brian Zepp, have you ever cried watching a movie?
I've never cried, Steve.
As an adult.
I've never cried before in my life. Okay. Here's the thing. Here's my weakness. Daughters. Because I've got a couple of daughters.
Sure.
And so anytime there's a really sweet moment in a movie, and I think, I've never experienced a sweet moment with my daughters. I wouldn't die for them or to save the world.
Yeah.
And it makes me a little melancholy.
Sure
and
it does.
occasionally I'll have to pee out of my eyes.
Pee out of my eyes.
You got something in both eyes.
My God.
Yeah.
How have I never heard that before?
That's a
I don't even know why I
superpower.
said it. It actually, as I was saying it, there was a voice in my head saying, "Don't say that." But no, daughter. But you guys have kids. You get it. You
Sure.
know, and there's that tender moment between a dad and a daughter, or a dad and a son. That one gets me every time.
All right, Tony, I don't even feel like I need to ask. I know you've shed a few tears at a film.
I'm a big crybaby. For some reason, the movie Jerry Maguire gets to me. I'm not kidding.
What?
It makes me
What?
weep.
Really?
What part?
Yeah,
just
all of it. Just all the
Yeah.
relationships, I guess, between
All right.
Jerry and the player, and then the
I
relationship.
thought maybe you were thinking, because that kid never had a career, and I never understood how he was so good in that movie.
Well,
If that little bastard can't make it, there's no chance for any kid to make it in Hollywood.
this, of course.
Wow. Jerry Maguire. Unbelievable.
Free fall and a big tearjerker for you.
You had me at hello.
You complete me.
Man, we're talking about guy cry movies, but Ryder, I got to ask. I mean, are you? Because
sure.
you don't strike me as someone who will necessarily just go all weepy and bubbly at a movie.
I won't. But the one that gets me, and I think this is more of a millennial cry, is the never-ending story when Atreyu is trying to pull his horse out of the swamp of sadness. And it just drowns right there. Every freaking time.
I'm sorry. Are you speaking English?
All right.
What in the? I lost it as soon as you. What?
The never-ending story. It came out in the late 80s, so it's very much a millennial kids movie.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Dude is trying to bring his horse through the swamp. There's a giant swamp. It gets stuck. It drowns. He's got to leave it behind because the horse is just too sad to move.
It's like the never-ending story.
That's what it's called.
Starting to get a little. I'm teasing you.
Sure.
I've heard of it, but never got around to it.
I cried at the end of Titanic when she dropped that priceless bit of jewelry into the ocean.
Right? What an
I was
a-hole.
I sat through 3 hours of this idiotic movie just to see her blow the fortune.
Yeah.
Come on, lady. I don't care about the dude driving Jack and Rose. Who cares? That's all nonsense. Yeah. But to drop a priceless, you held on to it the whole time? The guy you ended up marrying, your family, financial security for generations wasn't anything for you? What a freak. What the hell's wrong with her? They have, number one, Furious 7
What?
They're talking about.
Fast and
Here's the
Furious?
thing. They're talking about like actual guy movies, but they still make you cry. This is the one where they said goodbye to Paul Walker's character after Paul Walker, the actor in real life, had died. I'm sorry. There's nothing about. I've the Furious movies. I've seen little bits of all of them. They're all the exact same thing. It's just guys racing around in movies, and at the end of the day. The idea that I might see Vin Diesel and cry in the same, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it makes me angry more than anything. Did his character burn alive like he did?
I'm not really sure. I doubt it.
All right.
I doubt it. Here's one, though, Zep. Interstellar from 2014 is on the list, and that is a
dad-daughter.
Dad-daughter. See, there you have it.
Amazing.
That one makes sense.
Yeah.
Good Will Hunting. Okay, I can see it. I can see
For
it.
what?
Oh, come on, man.
I mean, if your dad beat you up with a wrench, maybe, but otherwise.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Going to see a girl? Come on.
Nah, I
kinda
didn't
wanted to
cry
see him
during
get-
that one either.
He's a know-it-all. I kind of wanted to see him get beat with a wrench in the movie.
I would say, what if there's an extra scene they deleted where
The director's cut.
Yeah, he solves that chalkboard equation in the early part of the movie, and all of a sudden you see, like, Dad, what are you doing here? What did I tell you, you smart ass? Shawshank Redemption is on the list, and yeah, it should be. Yeah, man, come on.
For crying? You guys cried?
As Red and what's his name, or at the end, the very fade out on the beach. Come on, man.
I peed out of my eyes on that one.
Did you pee out of your eyes? I did the musical at the Orpheum of the Shawshank Redemption. I did. That was tear-jerking. Didn't you guys know?
No, missed that one.
I'm sorry. The Shawshank Redemption. I didn't cry. A fine movie.
It'll get me. That gets me a little weepy. For the record, I'll say this: I have cried numerous times watching movies on planes because
You're drunk.
I Googled this before. Well, yeah, and I'm like, but like people say, no, there's something about the pressurized air. I've seen men say, "Oh no, I get very emotional when I watch movies on planes."
All right.
And it is two things: you're in an aluminum tube at 30,000 feet, and they're pouring cocktails.
Yeah.
But like, I remember specifically 2 times. I'm not making this up. There's a movie called Backdraft about firemen.
Oh, sure.
Ron Howard. I was on a flight, and I don't even remember who died, but there's a funeral scene, and I'm watching this movie the whole time, and I'm watching it. I'm like, hate watching it. Oh, of course. This is so stupid. And I remember Donald Sutherland was this weird arsonist who was in love with fire. It's like its own animal, or whatever speech he was giving. And I'm just watching it to just, because there's nothing else to do. And then sure enough, there's a funeral. Not only is there a funeral, there's a ton of firemen all standing there. And then, boom, they hit the bagpipes instantly. Just my God. I mean, and I'm like, what is happening to me? And the other time I cried on a plane, and both of these were traveling with the band in the 90s. And so I'm sitting next to one of the guys in the band. The other time it happened, I'm watching Tombstone. The Doc Holliday scene where he's on his deathbed.
He makes him a card.
And I'm like, I'm just don't even realize I'm so sucked in, and I have tears rolling down my face. And our bass player Johnny looks at me and he goes, "Are you crying at Tombstone?" I was like, maybe.
I am your Uncle Barry.
Yeah, man, come on. It's like being in a band and gunfights and whatever, isn't it? Come on. And then fun fact, and I'll share this too, and I don't mind. 2007, my wife and I are traveling together. We are going. Now, it starts off as a cool story. We're flying to London to see the Led Zeppelin show at the O2 Arena, the last ever show, and so that's cool, right? We're flying, but we've also just left our children behind. We're leaving the country to go to this Led Zeppelin show, and our kids are staying at home with their aunt and uncle taking care of them. We've never left them. We've never been that far away by even close, and so it was kind of emotional the first time. You're like, wait a minute, we're like going to England, and our kids are here. And so I was already a little charged, but then I'm also charged on the other side because I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to see Led Zeppelin. A lot of emotions flying around. And we watch Superbad.
Right.
And I'm laughing. So I'm releasing so much angst in the form of laughter throughout the film. It's so funny. and I'm laughing so hard that I have some tears in my eyes. The final scene where they're at the mall and the two best friends like kind of say see you later and they recognize life is changing.
Oh, the slow wave goodbye.
The slow wave goodbye. I started crying, and I was like, oh, my God, I really need to stop drinking.
I cried on a plane once. It was watching Creed 2. Yeah, Rachel's next to me going, what is the matter with you? Well, they all connect with their dads at the end.
Oh, the dad.
Got to be.
That's the other one. The Cats in the Cradle of all movies is Field of Dreams. I remember.
Yeah.
Being at a family get-together, it wasn't Thanksgiving, one of the big holidays. I think it was in the summer, though. It must have been 4th of July. And someone said, my sister, Field of Dreams, I love this movie, and starts to turn it up, and there's like 5 guys, including my dad sitting in the room. We're like, no, we're not watching this now, not together.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
No, we're not going down that emotional roller coaster. And I did not like the movie much at all at the time. But, I mean, you could hate that movie and get to the end when his dad comes out of the frickin' cornfield with a baseball glove. I'm going to start crying right now, baby.
Hey, Dad, you want to have a catch?
Yeah.
I saw it in the theater with 2 friends, and I liked it, but I was confused because the truth is, you say to someone, "Hey, so what happens at Field of Dreams?" I've seen it. I still don't. I don't know. It's like an acid trip, and at the end, the guy throws the ball with his dad. It was such a weird movie. It's hard to explain to somebody what exactly is going on. But that said, saw it with 2 friends. We walk out of the theater. All 3 of us are total red-eyed, like, man, that final scene really got me, I get home that night. Again, may or may not have been drinking. I call my older brother, Jim, in Baltimore. And it's like 10 o'clock at night. It's not that late, but he's got little kids, so it's kind of late for him. He's like, hello. I go, hey, man, have you seen Field of Dreams? And the first words out of his mouth, what are you, high? and I go, And I go, what do you, no, I did you see it? He goes, what are you, like on coke? I'm like, what? No, it goes, really got me at the end. He goes, what, the thing about throwing the ball at your dad? Yeah, I saw it, whatever. He was just like, no time for my nonsense. I was like, I just thought maybe we could talk about dad for a minute. He's like, yeah, do some more drugs, dude. Like, man, which was not something you had to tell me at the time to do that often, but I was, for the record, drug-free at that time.
It was on. He just made him uncomfortable. He hung up that phone and cried his eyes out.
That's exactly right.
That's my corn out there. You guys are guests in my corn.
Yeah.
By the way, also on the list, Gladiator.
What?
No.
Gladiator.
What the hell did you? Oh, because he died at the well.
No. I tell you what makes me cry in Gladiator. It's when he gets all the gladiators to work together as a team. Oh man, that gets me every time.
I did shed a few tears at the porn Gladiator. No.
All right, then.
No.
All right.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Okay.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah, that's. But we'll welcome your text. We'll get back to this. 651-989-ROCK. Let us know the movies that make you cry on the Facebook page. So many. There are Friday Night Lights. Remember the Titans? Yeah, Brian's song. We do love to cry with a helmet and shoulder pads on. That way, no one can see that we're crying. See, that's what helps that one right there. By the way, some old yellers, but Justin did also write Gladiator. I would have never thought Gladiator, even though I get it. It's a lot of emotion, but it's also just a badass movie. My son saw Gladiator 2 over the weekend, says it's great.
Yeah, I heard very entertaining.
Denzel, and there's a Gladiator theme. I can't imagine it's not worth checking out. Call me crazy. Hey, you can find the KQ Morning Show podcast anywhere you get podcasts, anytime you want. That podcast sponsored by Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies. Go load up. The Wild are still playing some pretty good hockey, and here's what we have right now in the studio. Wild tickets, a loaf of bread, and a toaster. You do the math. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on Minnesota's Classic Rock. 92 KQRS.
This is the KQ Morning Show, and on December the 12th at the XL Energy Center, the Minnesota Wild will host the Edmonton Oilers. We got a couple tickets. We'd love to give them away right now. We need some callers at 651-989-ROCK. 651-989-ROCK. Callers 9 and 2 will have a chance to compete in a game of champions to win these tickets. And while we're lining up those callers, how about a good morning shout out to East St. Paul?
To the east, I believe.
Yeah, over on the east side of St. Paul lies a place called East St. Paul.
Absolutely.
I don't know. So every time I mention a bar in St. Paul, I get a text from one of my many St. Paul friends. They go, that's not in East St. Paul. It's in St. Paul Park. But I'm pretty sure. Now, isn't the Sherwood Lounge, because I was there recently, isn't that in East St. Paul? Anyone? Little help? No?
I think it's got to be.
I would say yes. I'm saying yes to that.
All right. I'm about to get a text here telling me I'm full of it.
Well, keep us posted. But
I'll
think
let you
you're
know.
correct.
All right. Thank you.
I feel pretty good about
Fine
it.
bar, by the way.
Nice. Good
didn't have anything to
people
eat.
over there?
The beer was very wet and very cold, but yeah, good folks over there. I didn't partake in the eating.
Are you like a Pilsner guy, IPA guy? No, just pretty much wet and cold.
Wet and cold.
Just a wet and cold beer drinker from way back.
Sure,
That's
why not?
me. I do believe we have a couple callers already locked and loaded. Is that true, Tony?
There's two of them ready to play. Enthusiastic, you bet.
Right. Well, they're enthusiastic now. We'll wait and see how they feel in about 6 minutes. Tony, what are we playing today?
It's time again to beat that toaster. Here's what we're going to do. There's a toaster right here in the studio. It's all shiny and pretty. We're going to pop a slice of bread in there. Then we give you a category that requires some thought. And you list and name spontaneously whatever pops into your head, as many as possible. But you only have 15 seconds to do so before that toast pops right out of there.
Yum, toast.
Toast.
All right. Let's get right to it then. Tony, who is contestant number one?
Well, you ask who, I tell you. First up is Steve from St. Paul.
Steve, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Steve, give me your favorite band.
How about Leonard Skinner?
Nope. Try again. No, I'm kidding. That's great. Big Skinner fan myself. Give me your favorite team, any sport.
Just because I'm loyal, I'll go with the Timberwolves.
I like it. Hey, they're going to come around. I'm telling you, it's gonna lock into gear soon enough. They're gonna make a run. They will be a postseason team. All will be well. Steve, it's time to play Beat the Toaster. We got Wild Oilers tickets on the table. Good luck to you, sir.
Right.
Stevie, tell us, times in life it would really be a valuable skill to be able to talk with birds. Go ahead.
If you're in an animal movie, if you want to steal their food, if you want to climb in their nest, if you want to steal their eggs, if you want to peck their beak.
That's heck there. Is that a euphemism?
It sounds like a line I'd use. Can I peck your beak?
Have you seen Steve? He was pecking some beaks at the bar last night. I haven't seen him since. All right. I got 5 right there, Steve, which is a solid first round on an early Monday morning. Well played, sir. We're going to stick you on hold for a minute while we move on to contestant number 2's first round. Who we got, Tony?
He goes up against Lee from Clearwater, Minnesota.
Lee, good morning.
Good morning.
Lee, give me your favorite band.
The Black Crowes.
Listen to him. Lee, give me your favorite team, any sport.
Vikings, unfortunately.
What?
10 and 2.
Oh, he's peeked ahead. He knows the ending.
Disappointed since 75.
Right.
All right.
Wow. Well, you know what they say, those who forget the past. All right, Lee. Good luck to you, sir. It's round 1 of Beat the Clock.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Lee, if you don't have weights or dumbbells, what can you use in their place to get a good lifting workout? Go.
Milk carton, the potato sack, meat, heavy bag of ice, the dumbbell bar. What else?
Ooh.
All right.
All right. That lead, solid 5. You got 5, and that matches Steve. Very well played. I like the fact that you went right for the food items first and foremost.
Yeah.
But then the dumbbell bar was a good pull. I didn't see that one coming. I said, by the way, I said beat the clock, which is, of course I meant beat the toaster. I apologize.
Thought you were just goofing.
I apologize, Tony. Please don't take it personally.
No.
I hope the toast is okay with that.
No offense. I enjoy a good clock as well.
Yeah.
They're very useful.
This is my kind of game right here. 5-5 after one round. Let's turn up the heat, shall we? We're back to Steve for round 2. Thinking caps on, Steve. Good luck.
All right, Steve, you with us?
Yes.
All right, it's your chance to start a new tradition. Forget turkey and stuffing and mashed taters. What would you like to see become the new regulars on the Thanksgiving table? Go.
Ham and cheese omelet, spaghetti and meatballs, liver and onions, frozen pizza, ice cream, cranberries, orange marmalade, pumpkin cream pie.
All right, that's that.
Yeah, pumpkin cream pie.
Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
And by the way, Steve did say cranberries, which is already kind of a part of Thanksgiving. I mean, are we going to let that fly, or are we going to have to get tough on this and say, no, sir?
We have rules, Steve.
Yeah, I say we slash it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
How dare he?
That still gives Steve 7 for round 2. Very strong right there. It's funny. He said spaghetti and meatballs. My wife, whose maiden name was Priola, just kind of Italian, as they say. Yeah. Thanksgiving at the Priola house, it was turkey, dressing, lasagna, Italian sausages, peppers. Nice. It was all the stuff, and then a bunch of Italian food. And I was like, now, why didn't anyone else ever think of this? Oh,
I approve.
Glorious.
That's awesome, yeah.
Absolutely glorious. All right, Steve, you got, let's see, 5 plus 7, what does that equal? 12? Right on.
Good score.
Not a bad score at all for a Monday morning. Congratulations for that. It's time for Lee. Round 2, Lee. You need 7 to tie, 8 for the win. Good luck, sir.
Okay.
All right, Lee, you're standing there in the street corner and you feel something wet dripping on your head. What could it be? Go.
Rain, sewer water off the roof from the gutter. Someone above me from a building. Snow dripping. Let's see. That. I don't know that. I didn't get it.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's tough.
Could be one of those vans full of teenagers throwing cocktails out in the traffic.
I was thinking
you just
that,
never know.
Yeah. I got hit by an energy drink. What was that over on freaking Excelsior Boulevard? Going out for a nice stroll, and some kid whipped an energy drink at me, half full, little bastard.
Step lively, old man. Here's your Red Bull. All right, Lee, that's 9, which is a solid effort, but not enough. Thanks for playing. Steve, you, my friend, have won tickets, the Wild and the Oilers, December the 12th at the XL Energy Center. Congratulations. Gentlemen, thank you both for playing.
Thanks.
You got it.
That was a good bout.
Kicking off the month of December well right there. A fine round of Beat the Toaster. Gotta wait for the theme song to end. I love it. Tomorrow. Tomorrow at this time we'll play a game, and tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we will be giving away AC/DC tickets.
What the hell?
AC/DC has announced their U.S. tour, and they are kicking off that tour April 10th at the U.S. Bank Stadium here in Minneapolis. So tomorrow at this time, we'll be giving away tickets to see Akadak. Certainly going to be a spirited competition with those bad boys on the table. I'm sure of it. Crying at the movies. Yeah, it happens. Trust me. Dudes especially. And we asked for what movies make you cry. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talking text line. If you want to share a story or two, or at least a movie that makes you cry, guys, let us know. And I'll share one with you off the text line. Someone wrote in Steel Magnolias. He cried in the theater.
For God's sake.
Ugh.
That's all right. I mean, I'm assuming he's trying to impress a chick he's with this morning.
Hey, fun fact, I tried to impress a chick at the Steel Magnolias premiere in Atlanta, Georgia, and her name was Julia Roberts, by God.
Awesome.
Met her that night, and really, I went for it, too. I went all in and got nothing in return but a weird story. But that's a story for another day, because honestly, to tell it right, I need about 7 hours, because it meant just that much to me. 651-989-ROCK, Dude Cry Movies. There's also a bunch of submissions on the KQRS Facebook page. We'd love to get your thoughts on that one. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talking text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good Monday morning. It is December the 2nd. That was Poison. That was not AC/DC. But AC/DC is going to be at the U.S. Bank Stadium on April 10th, kicking off their U.S. tour. We will have tickets tomorrow. We'll have tickets Wednesday. We'll have tickets all week before tickets go on sale Friday. So you want to be hanging out with us every morning trying to win some of those bad boys. We've been talking about guy cry movies. Movies that bring the waterworks, or as Zepp said poetically, the pee from my eyes.
I want to be known for that.
Yeah, well, there are other things you could be known for that I think you'd prefer this. I mean, we all have that, I guess.
Yeah.
Bunch of texts and Facebook posts. 651-989-ROCK is the number if you want to text us or call us, or go to KQRS on Facebook. This text just in: what's eating Gilbert Grape? Johnny Depp, Leo DiCaprio, he wrote, when his mother dies and they set the house on fire. Yeah. You don't need to see the movie now. I'm not worried about spoiling a movie that's 30 years old, but still, yeah, that movie had some moments in it for sure. I was waiting for like a Bengal tiger to escape the zoo and eat Gilbert, but it never happened. I was like, I misread that entire thing. Several people on the on the text line have texted in Marley and Me. Never saw it.
That's the wrong dog movie.
Yeah. Never saw that one either, yeah. Wrong dog movie. I mean, like, Old Yeller's too old for you. I did cry during Old Yeller at the end there, of course, but only because I was told I had to, pretty much. Everybody, you're going to cry, you're going to cry, you're going to cry. And then, of course, I cried, but...
Oh, and in third grade, they made us watch Where the Red Fern Grows in class. And every dude that had a dog was just like bawling at the end of it. And then all of us kids without pets were like, I don't get it. But yeah, Where the Red Fern Grows was a big one.
Okay, another reference that is just lost on me.
Really?
But
it was a book, too.
I know, I had to do a book report on it. Yeah, I remember I had to read it in grade school, but I couldn't tell you a damn thing about it. Is it about something about a red fern?
Does the red fern kill the dog?
I think so. Dogs can't eat red ferns. Highly toxic. Highly toxic. I don't know. I like David on the Facebook page, The Dirty Dozen. All right, I get it.
Yeah.
Jim
Brown, yeah.
I mean, it takes one for the team. I get it. They all die, don't they? Or a couple of them, I think, survive it out. Lee Marvin, probably one of them. But all right, I like your style there, Dave.
I will get emotional in any sort of war movie, military, just guys in the division, the literally putting your life on the line, etc. And a lot of people have texted in Saving Private Ryan, which despite what I just said, I was like, well, where did you cry in that one? I don't remember crying in that movie. I remember walking out and feeling very numb, like, my God.
The hell was that? Yeah.
And it is hard. It is hard. Again, spoiler alert. It's tough to see Tom Hanks die, but I didn't have tears in my eyes. I was just like, all I thought was, man, I'm really glad the biggest problem I have right now is those damn gutters. That's what I thought when I walked out of that film.
You're right.
This could be a lot worse. Someone else texted in The Perfect Storm. All I kept thinking was, guys, check the weather. Like, come on.
Yeah, that was a big one. That was the storm, of course, of 91 that dumped, we may have heard once or twice.
Yeah.
Oh, that was it. I almost forgot.
That's right.
Read the book. It's fascinating. Yes. It spends an entire chapter, I think, on just how a person drowns in the North Atlantic.
This one in the first 10 minutes of the movie Up. I will advocate for that. That is if you don't think an animated film can get you, check that one out. Once you get past the opening, it's just another kid movie. But that first 10 minutes, that did me in. That's very true. I'll admit it.
Huh.
Never saw it
with the kid. No, I saw it. I took Sydney to the theater to see it. I think we saw it over at the Parkway, some old theater with uncomfortable seats. They have new seats at the Parkway now, by the way. But
nice.
I don't remember crying. I don't know. Yeah, I don't remember that.
How about the Jungle Book when you think Baloo the bear is dead? Nobody?
Wait, he's not?
Crickets.
I never saw the end.
Cue the cricket sound effect.
Wow.
Sorry, Tony. I'd love to back you, Tone.
I'm a baby.
This text in from Jake. Chef got me weepy, the movie Chef, but The Pursuit of Happiness made me cry like a bitch.
Okay. That's another dad one. Yeah.
I'm sure either one of
Yeah.
those. What are they again? What was it?
Pursuit of Happiness. Fun fact, written by Steve Conrad, the man responsible for the TV show Patriot, which Zepp and I bonded over the first time we ever got drunk together.
Yeah, I might have to check it out.
Yeah, very, very good
Doesn't
movie.
sound like a fun movie, though.
No, Will Smith, he does not slap anybody. He just he just plays a part without. He doesn't.
Yeah.
No, doesn't bitch slap a soul, but he's like a homeless investment guy. I don't know something.
Yeah. I like Brad here. Debbie does Dallas. Now, again, I didn't see the ending. It wasn't a happy ending. I don't remember that.
Oh my god.
That did involve people peeing out of their eyes, but it wasn't out of sadness.
Oh, Bradley.
Tim texted in, and Tim's clearly got some issues. I say there's a difference between crying and welling up. Okay.
Right. Yeah, there is a
Take it
difference.
easy, champ.
Yeah.
No
You get a
one's
little
judging
choked
you.
up. Yeah.
There's a movie. It's not a dude movie at all, but it's a movie that it made me cry when I saw it in ninth grade. And to this day, if it's on cable and I start watching it, it'll do me in. It's called. Let's just tear ourselves open here. It's called A Little Romance with Diane Lane. One of her first movies. And at the end of the film, when she and her runaway French boyfriend, they're both like 14, they're on the gondola in Venice, and they go under the Bridge of Sighs and they kiss, which means they'll love forever. I'm sideways. I'm just bawling my eyes out. Laurence Olivier, Diane Lane, nobody?
Nope. Sorry.
Bueller?
That's your Baloo the Bear.
No.
I'm telling you, man. Check it out. It'll do you in. It's a sensational movie. Or it was when I was in ninth grade.
Can I go watch it now?
Please. I put it on. I'll join you.
I mean, I like Diane Lane. Is there at least side boob in it or something? Give me something. Some reason I should watch
Watch your
it.
mouth. She was a teenager.
What the hell? She was a teenager in the movie?
Yeah, it's 1979. It was her first film.
I thought there was a love interest. I didn't know she was just someone's daughter.
Well, this is awkward.
No. Listen, that movie put her on the cover of Time magazine, for God's sakes. Laurence Olivier and Diane Lane. Come on. Where were you guys?
I don't know. Rocking out, watching Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I don't know.
Oh, man. That movie. I probably had tears in my eyes when I saw that in the theater, but just from laughing so much. I remember thinking, man, I'm going to the wrong high school. That's all I could think. Because if this is what high school in Los Angeles is like, then I need to talk to my parents about some decisions they made. Jeez. The Fault in Our Stars. I hear about that, and I hear it's really heartbreaking. Don't know a thing about it, but that came in on the text line. Also, the movie Dog with Channing Tatum. No idea.
I think that was what? Dog.
People are setting us up here.
Yeah, I think that was a setup.
Yeah.
Oh boy, here's one. Braveheart.
Braveheart?
When they killed his big boob, extremely cute brunette girlfriend. Now I will take. No, they were actually man and wife, secretly married. So that was not his big boobed girlfriend.
Yeah.
That was his big boobed wife, for God's sakes. William Wallace, show some respect.
Didn't grieve for long, did he, before he was banging the prince's wife? But I think what made me cry most in that movie was the fact that they were wearing kilts 300 years before they actually frickin' came out.
Is that true?
Yeah, the kilt didn't show up until at least the late 16th century. Most people credit the 18th century, but
I had no idea.
William Wallace, that was right there around the turn of the 14th.
What you're telling me is the Battle of Kurlock, or whatever it was called, they were pantless.
Sterling, but they were pantless. But they had their balls painted blue.
Yeah, right. That's it.
Wasn't their faces? Yeah.
I remember. I got a little misty-eyed. Speaking of that, remember the movie Pantless in Seattle?
Yes.
My God, when the couple from across the street came in and joined the swingers party, and I was like, no way! I can't believe they're finally letting their guard down, and they were all pantless.
Yeah.
And it was raining, and they were drinking coffee. That movie was awesome.
He couldn't get it up. It was awkward. I was like, no, dude, I've been there. It happens. It's not you. It's her.
Just need more coffee. That's all.
That's all.
I'm just saying. But no, it's the going back to the original thing here. If you're just joining us, we're talking about guy cry movies. There was a list on the Ringer a website listing the guy cry movies, and a couple that I'm still blown away. Furious 7 was on the list. Armageddon. Number 2.
Right.
Okay, now
got me.
I got to be honest, never saw the movie, so I can't speak to that. But wasn't it just about as silly a movie as you could get?
Yeah.
Yes, it was very silly, very entertaining, but at some point, Bruce Willis says goodbye to Liv Tyler, his daughter, from space. As he sacrificed himself for the world.
Oh, forget it then. Yeah,
and he looks her right in the eyes, and he just gives her a big, long goodbye. And here's the worst part. He left her on Earth with Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck made it back. Cried my eyes out as soon as Ben Affleck was safe. I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
Well, that upsets me right here now.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Leaving a woman with Ben Affleck. You know, it's like eventually she'll figure it out, but he's got that early stage charm. It's tough to work your way through. That's tough. I Am Legend, another Will Smith movie, made the list.
The dog.
The zombies.
That literally is because of the dog. That's the scene where the zombies get his dog.
His wife and his kid died too, but that's, whatever.
That was basically just the Omega Man 2.0, right? It was the same general story.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Much better effects, yeah.
Well, then I have to give it a little credit then. Like, okay, Omega Man, that always worked for us. Big Gorman staple when it would come on. The Omega Man, oh my God.
Oh,
yeah, we love those. We love to go dark back in the 70s rec room TV Gorman household. Right. We loved us some Omega Man. Make no mistake about it.
Now, Steve, you said you cry. It's not uncommon for you to cry at a movie. You really get, emotionally involved in this. You like it. Ryan on the Facebook page, I cry watching coffee commercials. WTF. Some of those coffee commercials.
Well,
there's a reunion and
tender moments.
Yeah, except for the one where the daughter and the son seem to be having a romantic moment. Did you see that coffee commercial?
Yeah, it's that couple from Succession. Yeah. Not Succession, Game of Thrones.
That's it. Yeah,
that's it. The Game of Thrones couple. And the better the coffee commercial, the worse the coffee, I've noticed. Like, I cry because I think about the last time I drank Folgers. And it's just that was awful.
To the last drop, Steve.
By the way, fun fact, I actually had Folgers it's probably been a couple years. I was at a friend's house and he had Folgers. And I was like laughing because I'm like, Folgers. It was great. I was like, wow, I actually didn't realize Folgers is pretty damn good coffee.
All right.
So color me stupid and ridiculous. I grew up in a Maxwell house as well as a Sanka house. A lot of Maxwell house and then Sanka, which I never realized was decaf. Sanka for the afternoons.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's why I haven't heard of Sanka. It's decaf.
As in sans caffeine. Sanka.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Go figure. I didn't know they spoke French in the 70s, but apparently they did. Hey, Sammy Hagar's Best of All Worlds Tour stays in Vegas, the residency. It's kicking off April 30th at Dolby Live in Park GM in Las Vegas, and you could be on your way to see that bad boy. Score a trip for two, including round-trip air, a 2-night stay at Park MGM, dinner, and tickets to the show. Text the national keyword, ME. M-E. Text the national keyword ME to 95819 for a chance to win. The top 5 at 9 coming up. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good Monday morning. Happy December. We are off and running towards the end of 2024. And as it is Monday, December the 2nd, we made a major announcement 2 hours ago. I'm going to share it with you right now. Ready? Get ready for it. Wait for it. Hang on a minute. AC/DC, the band we just rocked out to, will be at the U.S. Bank Stadium on April the 10th.
Yes.
If you want to experience the first time Ryder ever sees AC/DC, go to that show.
There may be tears. I may pee out of my eyeballs. I'm going to be so excited about this.
When they play big balls.
Yes, that's one of my favorites.
Man.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
Oh, the Ball Breaker tour.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've been talking about movies that make dudes cry, and when I watch Let There Be Rock, their concert film from the Highway to Hell tour, I cry.
Yeah.
It's just that great. The scene where Malcolm is getting ready to go on stage, and he goes, oh, hang on, I got to change. And he takes off one T-shirt and replaces it with an identical T-shirt. That brings tears to my eyes. It's a gorgeous moment. That truly is one of the great concert films of all time. That is a band just absolutely at their apex. That band still exists, and that band is playing the stadium at U.S. Bank Stadium April 10th. KQRS is presenting that very show, and you need to be listening to the KQ Morning Show for the rest of this week because we'll be giving away tickets to that bad boy during the mornings of this week. Tickets go on sale Friday. AC/DC. If you've never seen them, if you, like Ryder, have never seen AC/DC, seriously, get there this year. People say this about every band that's been around forever, but you never know how many tours they have left. Go to the show. They are spectacular. What a great live band AC/DC has always been. Yeah. That's your number 5 story on your top 5 at 9, in case I forgot to mention that. Your number 4 story in your top 5 at 9. Big Ten football over the weekend. We don't have to mention the fact that Indiana somehow scored 66 points against Purdue. That's just funny. It's just like, oh, what does that say about Purdue football? What in the hell?
Well,
but yeah,
they've been getting blown out all year. Yeah, they suck.
Man, they really, really do. That's Perdon't is what that is. But no, the big game, Michigan at Ohio State. Hilarious to watch Ohio State lose, as it always is, especially when they lose to the team they hate more than anything in the world, Michigan. Yes. Michigan 6-5, the post-championship, post-Jim Harbaugh hangover season, and yet they still somehow managed to go into Columbus and upset a 20-point underdog, Michigan, upset Ohio State 13-10. That's not a game from 1950. That happened on Saturday, 13-10. After the game, a bunch of the Wolverine players grabbed some Michigan flags and ran to midfield to plant those flags right at midfield. And then, of course, a bunch of Ohio State players were not happy about it. Dogs and cats living together, chaos reigning supreme. It sounded like this.
Incredibly ugly scene for a beautiful rivalry.
Oh, I just played part of it there.
Michigan will defeat Ohio State for the 4th consecutive time and denies the Buckeyes a Big Ten title game shot. Something interesting is going on the field right now. Michigan tried to plant their flag in the middle of the Ohio State field, and the Buckeyes rushed right to them. And now there's some skirmishes going on the field. An unsportsmanlike gesture by the Wolverines. Unnecessary. They've won the game. No need to be disrespectful.
And then the tear gas came out after the lecture there from, I don't know who that was.
You've got a bunch of football players, all in pads, most of them still wearing helmets. They're having skirmishes. It's turning into a fight. The idea that any of them are going to be seriously injured is hilarious. They just played a football game, for God's sakes. Yeah. And then the police on the field, they start pepper spraying the players. That's the silliest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I do love the little clip you played right at the start where he goes, a sad ending to this, or a sad display of this beautiful rivalry.
Beautiful.
Listen, these people are all completely insane. They don't dislike each other. They literally hate each other. Bo Schembechler, when he was the coach of Michigan, if he were recruiting in Ohio, this is true. This is not like urban myth. Everybody, his assistant coaches said for real. He would never buy gas in the state of Ohio. He would stop before they crossed into the state to fill his tank because he never wanted to leave a cent. But he did always stop at gas stations in Ohio to take a dump. He'd say, I leave that there.
That is beautiful.
There's nothing logical about that rivalry at all.
Oh, no. And I watched it with Dylan, the boyfriend of Sid the Kid, both of his parents, and as is he, born and raised in Michigan. Mm-hmm. And, I've known the rivalry, right? But I've never watched it with a Michigan or Ohio native. I did this time, and it is very real. Sweet Mother Jane using some very foul language during that game.
Incredibly ugly scene for a beautiful rivalry.
That's great.
But yeah, it's when do you root for Michigan when they're playing Ohio State?
Both coaches afterwards were saying there's so much emotion. We can't let these things happen. We've got to handle this better. And then they went in their locker rooms and they were like, "Yeah, nice one, kid. Yeah, way to go." Yeah, I saw that. I saw that kidney punch. Well done. That kid's gonna think twice before trying to plant a flag again. Yeah. Number 3 on your top 5 at 9. Clean out your fridge today. This is your last day where it's safe to eat your Thanksgiving leftovers. That is according to the USDA. Most Thanksgiving foods can go 3 to 4 days in the fridge. That's it. Now, I said earlier I got rid of everything yesterday. There is still a pie. There's a half a pie in the fridge. Yeah. That's not going anywhere. But the rest
of a couple of pieces
gone.
Of pie. I think they'll be all right. Yeah, right, exactly. Throw away the cucumbers. I think they're killing people right now. There's a big cucumber thing. But, yeah, I think the turkey will be good for a couple of days, won't it? The dark meat.
I tell you what, we learned for yet again a yearly tradition, which is what does Chauncey do when given a few extra scraps of ham and turkey? We never feed him food, ever. He eats dog food. But every year at this time, there's just always, it's usually while I'm carving and I'm cutting up a ham, and we did have a turkey breast, I'm cutting into that, and I just throw a couple scraps to him. Here you go. He's a good guy. Here you go. Mm-hmm. And my God, can that dog fart up a storm? That's all it takes is a couple snaps of ham, a couple little shanks of turkey, and for 3 days, everyone's like, why did you do that? I'm like, I'm sorry. I forgot, or I just wanted to see if it would still happen this year. He's just blasting us like there's no tomorrow.
He's covering for you, Steve.
That's well, I didn't. Yeah, that's true. I didn't say I wasn't joining him in that. I'm simply saying my man's a Captain Gassy over there. Number 2 on your top 5 at 9. A Colorado school bus driver is in hot water, as they say. Let's see what happened last week. Oh, that's right. A guy driving a school bus. He's not the normal bus driver. He's a substitute. And the word on the street was he didn't follow proper protocols. If that's what you call dropping 40 elementary school-age students at the wrong place, then I would say, yes, that is not following proper protocols. He literally kicked 40 kids off his bus. Oops.
I get it. It was my kid. I'd be kicking his ass. But listen to this smart little whippersnapper.
We got on the bus, and there was a substitute, and he wouldn't let us leave the school until we stopped talking. And he was skipping all the kids' stops. And we felt like when he was driving and missing our stops, like we were getting kidnapped. He stopped right here at this intersection, and he said, "Everybody get off my bus." And then everybody was like stressing, like crying. And we forgot our jackets on the bus. Me and my little sister, we live like 2 miles away from here. We had like no idea what to do. I have to go potty.
Yeah.
The driver, I saw this story, and this happened just south of Denver in Castle Rock. Right. And I'll, fun fact, my brother Tom lives in Castle Rock, and he's retired now very happily. And I thought to myself, now this is a guy who in the 70s was known as Pothead Tommy. So I thought, oh my God, that'd be just like him to be volunteering as a substitute bus driver, and was very relieved when the driver's name turned out to be Irving Johnson, not Thomas Gorman. I was like, oh, I could just see him thinking this was a bad idea. Everybody off the bus.
Yeah. But by the way, school district administrators, feel free to hire a substitute bus driver that knows the route.
Yeah, by the way, I love the he did apologize. He spoke to some media and said, "I'm sorry. I wish I had done better." He said he was unfamiliar with the route, and his tablet wasn't working, so he was asking kids for directions.
Oh my God!
See, that's the problem with edibles, Colorado. Yeah. Right there.
Right,
you never know when they're going to show their ugly side.
Might have done better than the school bus driver that threatened to shoot all the kids. Remember this one?
If that person says, "Where are we going?" I'm going to shoot them. Okay? Now listen. I missed the stop. I'm trying to turn around. Do you understand?
Yeah, they're going to be shot.
Whew. Man, that's tough.
It's tense behind the wheel.
I mean, I think as a kid, you'd rather have your kid on the Dirty Harry bus than these people. You know what I mean?
Speed bus.
Jeez, at least you got a 44 Magnum trying to get your kid off there. Hey, by the way, quick shout out to Cambridge. Good morning to our listeners in Cambridge.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time up in Cambridge. In fact, I just read this morning that Santa will be making his first stop in Minnesota this Friday and Saturday at the Fleet Farm in Cambridge.
Nice.
Oh, that's decent of him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
swinging by it. Now that we got some snow on the ground.
Yeah, right on, Cambridge. Enjoy that trip from that visit from St. Nick himself. Number 1 on your top 5 at 9. Oh, who's 10-2? The Minnesota Vikings in a thriller. A game-winning touchdown to Aaron Jones, a pass with 1:13 on the clock, puts the Vikings over the Cardinals 23-22 yesterday. This team is now 10-2, and boy, what a nice redemptive moment for Aaron Jones, who fumbled not once but twice in the first quarter of the game. Gets the game-winning touchdown. A guy who throughout his career has less than half a dozen fumbles, had 2 in the first quarter yesterday. Late in the third, they were down 19-6. You got to like the Vikings back against the wall. They turned it around and got the win to push them to 10-2.
Yeah, Sam Darnold post-game.
The Vikings.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but it's the biggest comeback of your career. You just keep racking up these things. How does this feel?
Feels great. I mean, obviously a rocky start. Our defense kept us in it all game, and we were able to respond the way that we responded all year. Just proud of these guys, man. Proud of the way they fought all game, and love these guys, man.
Proud of Aaron Jones?
No.
So proud of him. I mean, obviously he'd like to have, a couple plays back in the first half, but he's going to fight. We know that about him, and we always believe in him.
All right. Rocking the red beard these days. He's going full-on bike.
Sam Darnold, the only quarterback in the league sitting on a 10-2 record, thinking on a daily basis, I wonder where I'm going to play next year.
Yeah.
That's
Not
it.
here.
Hey, for the record, just for no particular reason other than it was unbelievable. Did you see Josh Allen's touchdown last night in the snow in Buffalo?
Mm-hmm. The one the receiver pitched it back to him.
Yeah. And that is kids in the backyard in the snow. Josh Allen threw the ball over there and was already thinking, I'm just going to chase that play because I bet if they tie him up, I'll have a path to the end zone. If you watch the play, he's like, here, hit me. I mean, it just looked like such a backyard play. I thought it was outstanding.
Showing off to his fiancée.
He was. And as long as we're talking about other football teams, Ryder, anything you want to say about your Lions trying to give a Thanksgiving Day game away to the Chicago Bears?
The Lions did not win this game as much as the Bears lost it.
Boy,
but
they did.
A W is a W, and then the streak is broken. It's nice to get a win on Thanksgiving in Detroit.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that Bears head coach, though, saved his job for another week, I'll tell you, with that game.
His job as the ex-Bears coach.
Oh, man. How did that work?
Yeah, it just took hours.
Yeah, hours.
They let him do that press conference, too. What a bummer.
Incredible. And as long as we're talking, Zepp, have you got a Russell Wilson tattoo figured out yet? My God, your Steelers. Dude, your Steelers are a real football team.
I forget who the singer is. Is it Beyonce? You got to put a ring on it, Russ. Put a ring on it. I'll think about the tattoo.
All right, very good.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.